So hello everyone, Janine from Passion Infused Life. As you know, if you're a frequent flyer here, we're talking about the things that we are passionate about, what we're putting into our bodies, onto our bodies, and into our minds. And today is no different, and we're talking about our keto lifestyle change that we made back in December of 2017. And I'm going to share my personal experience, some of the things that are incredible about keto, some of the resources that I will not go without, but also some pitfalls because I want you guys to be able to avoid those. I wish I would have known better in some of these areas before now. But as I mentioned, we started December 13th, 2017. And historically, we had done the elimination diet or the Whole30. And I personally found that not just gluten-free grains, but grains in general is something that my body really doesn't like. However, dairy, as long as it's full fat dairy, ideally organic, all day long, I'm completely good with that. So once we did the elimination diet within our family, we then transitioned to paleo. So, and that has served our family incredibly well. Definitely Zach. Zach was pre-diabetic. He's lost about 15 pounds since being on the paleo lifestyle. And he's no longer pre-diabetic, and he doesn't even have to watch his cholesterol anymore. So it's been really, really amazing for him. So it wasn't until I was kind of encountering some health challenges. My thyroid was slightly underactive, and we just wanted to get ahead of it. And I was experiencing some adrenal fatigue after I lost my grandmother and had started a new job. And just, we have daily stressors as working moms, or even moms that are working inside the home. I mean, it's just part of like our DNA this day and age, it seems. So in addition to that, I had a bit of a health scare where the lymph node behind, one of the lymph nodes behind my left ear was swollen to the point that they wanted to rule out lymphoma. So they had ordered a CT scan. Ends up, according to the report, that was my normal. But if any of you know me well, you know that doesn't work for me. Like, I wanted to get to the bottom of what was causing this inflammation. And that's when my healthcare provider suggested that based on the 23andMe SNPs of my DNA and any genetic mutations that I had, like MTHFR, I have one of the mutations. I've done a video on that too, so I'll link that below. But basically, she suggested that I introduce a ketogenic lifestyle into our family. And so ketogenic is moderate protein, high healthy fat, and then low carbohydrate, right? Well, after reading some books and listening to podcasts, I realized, or I thought I realized or knew what I needed to do. Well, come to find out, I was doing everything great during the day, but then if I had a little sweet tooth 1, 2, 3 days a week, I would slice up a half of an apple and I'd throw in some whipping cream and then saute that up in a little bit of the grass-fed butter and then put a little bit of cinnamon on top, not knowing how many carbohydrates are in a half of an apple. So basically, for those 2 weeks within December, I wasn't even entering into ketosis. In fact, I was using my ketone urine strips, didn't enter into ketosis once. However, I wasn't super concerned. For me, this is all about health benefits. I have migraines, obviously trying to get the inflammation down in some of my lymph system and get ahead of the underactive thyroid. So I wasn't super duper concerned that I wasn't entering into ketosis because I was reading multiple people were just like dropping a bunch of weight and feeling so great. But I was also reading how it can take you up to sometimes 4 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks for your body to shift from burning glucose as fuel to burning fat for fuel. So I wasn't getting too discouraged. January, though, is when I realized, okay, you've got to eliminate that apple, right? Or the half of the apple. And I started following it to the T, okay? So what I didn't realize is how bad the keto flu was gonna feel. I usually get migraines like 1 to 2 a week, and I get like relief headaches where I work all day, and it's probably because I'm so busy during the day, and then I get home and it starts coming on. But the keto flu headaches, they were like constant. I was constantly feeling icky. I was feeling so lethargic and tired. I wasn't sleeping very well, and I was feeling nauseated after every meal. So I did a bunch of reading. These are very common kind of situations. And the trouble with keto is that you can do keto for 6 weeks, or 6 days, 6 weeks, whatever, and say you have a cheat meal, it kicks you out of ketosis. So you can't it's not flexible, right? And so therefore it can be really hard for people to follow and like get the true benefits of it. So right around that time is when I started learning a little bit more about intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting is when you are fasting in the early mornings. And for me, I try to have you start at 12 to 18 hours of not eating. So for me, I wake up in the morning, I have my MCT oil coffee, and then I incorporate another supplement, which I'll tell you in a second. And then I eat between the hours of 12 noon and 8 p.m. at night, okay? So when I started incorporating the intermittent fasting in, it was super convenient because I'm on the road all the time and meal prepping can be really, really hard. And for me, if I didn't meal prep well, I wouldn't stop at, say, a fast food place or anything like that. I just wouldn't eat, which is terrible. It's just as bad as eating the wrong things most of the time. And so this intermittent fasting was working incredibly well for me. And between the hours of 12 and 8, I found myself eating 2 to 3 meals, or 2 bigger meals and 1 snack, okay? So, but during that time, I was still going in and out of ketosis per the urine strips. And then I also had done some reading that the urine strips can start not being super indicative of ketone levels because your body starts adapting. So I got the breath powered device. And there was only 1 day where I was in ketosis according to the breath powered device and the urine. And if I was via the urine strips in ketosis, it was like really mild. It was like low, the lowest you could get. And so I was like, what is going on? How am I doing this wrong? So right around that time is where I was introduced to exogenous ketones, okay? So we're talking just the beginning of March here. So introduced to exogenous ketones, and I'm like, what are these things? Some of them are bright pink. I'm like, there's got to be something, artificial in those, or, I don't even know what that is. But what I had heard is that it was helping you to be not so rigid with keto, because I've always done lazy keto. I don't want to count my macros. I don't want to do all that. I don't want to be hyper focused on eating. I just want to eat things that are good for me, but not count calories, right? But not overeat either. And everything that I was reading was showing that these exogenous ketones were helping people to be more flexible with their eating, but within 60 minutes of drinking the exogenous ketones, you were actually in ketosis, okay? So then I found out that there was nothing artificial in them. The flavor was derived from essential oils. And I was like, I'm in. I'm just gonna try it for 10 days and I'll see kind of what I experience. So guys, I am on day 7 and I have not had 1 migraine. I have not had 1 flare-up of this lymph node behind my ear. I have had crazy amounts of energy. I have also gone down a pant size, which is insane to me because this is just a side effect of the ketones. Again, I'm just trying to be the healthiest version of myself. And so, like I said, I'm on day 7 right now. So I still have 3 days of my kind of 10-day kind of test that I was giving it. And I wanted to hop on and share with you because basically all the keto flu that I had been experiencing could have completely been eliminated by incorporating these exogenous ketones. And I would have stayed in ketosis, had that the fat burning benefits, the energy. I haven't increased my workouts any more than I was doing before. I was walking 3 days, 2.5 miles, and then maybe doing like a circuit of push-ups and squats and some jump roping with Leighton 1 or 2 nights a week. So nothing outrageous, but again, it's been consistent without and then with the ketones. And I'm noticing these awesome benefits. So I have some product coming the latter part of this week. So if you want to try 10 days, I would highly, highly encourage you to do it. And the other cool thing is you don't have to be eating or following keto to get the benefits from ketones. So, like I said, I can't say enough about them. They taste delicious. I have the Maui Punch is my favorite flavor. So anyway, I just wanted to share kind of my experience so far, and more importantly, the good and the bad, so perhaps you can avoid the bad. So reach out to jstageberg@hotmail.com if you have any questions. But to get your hands on some of these, like I said, I'll be shipping them out the latter part of this week. Click on the link within the description below. So thank you, everyone. Hope you're having a great night. Bye.